What's going on, gamers? It's Dreamkillas representing MaddenMastermind. Hope everybody is doing well this evening. I was trying to record a video using Cincinnati for the 3-4 film room type style thing, but that's gonna have to wait till tomorrow. I was having some desyncing issues. Literally played till like the second quarter in 2 games and got kicked out for grieving or something. So I have to figure out what's going on there. So I did want to post a video, and this one's gonna be more for beginners, I guess, more so than anything, or anybody that maybe just struggles on the defensive side of the ball. You know, so if, you know, the guys that are more advanced and whatnot, maybe you could skip past the video, or you could just watch it for support, leave a like or something like that. But if not, and you're a newer guy, you know, this video should be pretty beneficial for you. I see a lot of general comments left down in the comment section, or general questions, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. So anytime you guys do have a question, definitely feel free to leave it in there, and I'll do my best to respond. And then I'm going to ask the viewers or the guys that normally comment down there. If you see a general question, man, if you guys don't mind helping out the next player, man, that'd be awesome. It's gonna, you know, help the community grow, get more people interested in Madden. And I think, you know, the better you help somebody else get, or the more you help somebody else get better at the game, the more likely they are to turn somebody else onto it and help teach them. So, man, it's a giving effort here, and that's what we're here to do today. So I think I'm gonna title the video, you know, half a dozen ways to get better on defense or something like that, but we'll figure that part of it out after done recording here. But I do have maybe like 8 notes jotted down of things that you guys can do to help your defense. Not maybe like overnight per se, but, you know, in a short period of time, you could definitely help yourself benefit off of the tips I'm about to talk about. Number 1, just like the pros, practice, man. Practice makes perfect. Whether you're on offense, defense, whatever, you need to know what you're doing before you even get into the game. So whether you buy an ebook, you take a tip off of YouTube, whatever the deal, your friend tells you hit some blitz setups, know that blitz like you know your first and last name, man, or something like that. You know, you should be able to go into the game, set the blitz up, set up a coverage or whatever without even thinking twice about it. And it's more so than just having a blitz, man. I'm talking about anything, knowing how to get to your players, hot route them into different scenarios and stuff like that. And that's what we're going to show you guys here momentarily. But definitely practice, man. You're going to have to do that, whether it's for run defense. If you lose a game and the guy was strong powering you or countering you to death, or strong close off tackle, whatever the deal, go back into practice mode, have your extra controller, hopefully you got one of those, and just go and lab that play and figure out how to stop it. And that way, the next time you do it, you'll have more confidence going into that game, and you'll feel that much better. So definitely check that out. Another one that we're going to talk about here, I'm just working on this free safety blitz. I'm still trying to find a defense out of this 3-4 that I'm liking for like a base defense, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So let me just run this and see if it comes. Ran into somebody. Anyhow, we'll try it again. But one of the other things is going to be, so that's tip 1, practice. Number 2 is knowing your controls. So some guys were asking, you know, just how to get to players quickly, and I'm just holding B on Xbox, so that would be circle on PlayStation, and then you just literally hit the directional pad, so the D-pad, right, and you can jump to players that way. I believe there's another way, but that's the quickest way, I think. And then let me see here. Yeah, all right, so just D-pad, man, that's the quickest. And if, you know, learn that, you know, once you're on top of a lineman, you could just hit back on the D-pad and get to him quicker, stuff like that. That's going to help you get around the world here quicker to set up hot routes and stuff like that. So that's a key. And then know all your coverage adjustments, man. The ones I normally use, I would say, are coverage. You can see here, and I'm just hitting Y on Xbox or triangle on PlayStation, and you can hit over the top, inside, underneath, outside. The ones I normally hit are inside and underneath. Those would be my 2 biggest ones. You know, I throw a lot of out routes, so somebody that plays me want to adjust the coverage to the outside, stuff like that. A lot of my plays rely on base aligning and stuff like that, and what base aligning is going to do is just keep your defense the way it normally is set up, basically per stock play. So, you know, if he runs a trip set or something like that, this safety is going to stay on the left side of the field as opposed to lining up to the right, and that normally keeps you more balanced. That way counter plays and stuff like that become less useful. So know your controls, man. And then giving cushion, you can back your coverage off by using the Y. You can show your blitz by using that, and then I'm just hitting Y and then using the D-pad. So you guys could do it however you'd like. I think you can use the left stick as well, but I'm used to just hitting the D-pad on stuff like that. You can also press through that. Very basic, but very important, man. So, you know, again, we just switching our players, showing different coverage adjustments. This year they got the protect the sticks, which is just hitting Y or triangle on PlayStation. And all that's going to do is just basically keep your coverage. It'll back your yellows off, or your hook zones and stuff like that, more to the first down marker to help protect the stick. So, you know, on 4th and longs or something like that is very beneficial. Sometimes 3rd and longs if the player's a good opponent. I don't tend to use that, but definitely on 4th and longs, I'll drop it back to help myself out there. Don't really use man align. I know some guys may, but I technically don't. You know your audibles too. You know, I'm in 4-3 under right now, so just know you can, if you're a custom guy, obviously you can set your audibles here, but you definitely have some other plays you can pick, and then anytime you're in a 3-4, anything 3-4 based, you can jump out through your other plays and stuff like that. It's another one that you can use there. I'm sure I'm going to be missing stuff here, but using the left trigger / L1 button on, or not left trigger, I guess it'd be left bumper / L1 on PlayStation, you can do things like crash the line, whether it's left, right, edge rush them. You can crash the middle, which I normally say people, you'll hear crash down. And then you can also shift your D-line down. You can move them to the right, you can move them to the left, whatever you want to do there. And then the same thing with hitting the R1 / RB, or right bumper on Xbox. You can do linebacker assignments. So you can blitz all your linebackers. You can globally, you'll hear people say globally re-blitz a linebacker. So all they mean by that is literally just hitting your right R1 / right bumper button, and then you can zone all your linebackers real quick if they, you know, you would happen to come out in a blitz. You can also, real quick, you can just blitz one, so the right outside linebacker. You can do it to the same thing on the left. So there's a lot of options you got by really not even clicking on players, and it's key as far as setting up blitzes, setting up coverage and stuff like that. You can also shift your linebackers one way or the other. Very basic, but again, very useful in helping on defense. So that's another one. So definitely get your controls down, man. It's the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll get better at the game. You'll feel more confident on defense and stuff like that. It's very important. You know, again, you'll hear other guys saying it's all about adjustments, and that's what it comes down to in the end. For example, I might be in a cover 3, but if I'm sending a blitz, I'm pretty sure he's going to come in. He likes to run his running back on routes or whatever, or it's 4th and long. He hasn't been running a lot of streaks. I mean, there's plays where I'll look like this. I literally won't have a deep blue on the field. You know, I'll take my chances and, you know, just play the short field here and then try to maybe jump on one of his more targeted routes here with the safety, something like that. And, you know, that's how I'll play defense. So keep that in mind, and that's all going to be done through using your controls. So that's that. So we got practice and controls. Next one here, and there's another one you're going to do before you even jump into a game, is just knowing your depth chart, man. And I'm no depth chart expert. I couldn't tell you whether having more strength or finesse moves or block shedding or stuff like that's more important this year. But the ones I normally look for are tackling, to make sure, you know, if he does hit him, he's going to tackle him. Hit power is good for, you know, whether you're trying to hit stick, possibly cause turnover, stuff like that. Power moves and finesse moves definitely have something to do with the scenario. Pursuit helps, play recognition, all that stuff, whether he's running screens. Man and zone coverage, definitely for linebackers, I would say, you know, are important. Press, not so much for linebackers. And then obviously we got block shed somewhere around here. So block shedding's key, I would say, but again, I'm no expert on it. But definitely know your depth chart, man. You want to know what players are going to give you the best chance or put you in the best chance to, you know, make good scenarios happen for yourself, whether it's getting turnovers, big stops, stuff like that. I did set up a Cincinnati depth chart, which I'll use tomorrow in tomorrow's game. Obviously for corner, same thing, man. You want to have the guys that have the speed, the zone coverage, the man coverage, even catching as far as getting turnovers. You know, I blitz a safety a lot, so, you know, my free safety is going to be important for me. You know, I use Scandrick, so I got Nelson there. He's pretty quick, and he's got enough hit power and stuff like that to bring down the quarterback, which I find to be pretty important. Linemen, same thing. Block shedding, strength, stuff like that to get off of blocks and help in run support, or even sacking a quarterback in a more coverage scenario that you might be running on defense is key. So definitely know your depth chart, man. It's important. You know, sometimes there's some sleeper players, you know, way down the depth chart. So just check them out, man. And as far as sending blitzes, let's just say, you know, you got a B-gap blitz where a linebacker's coming. Make sure you got that linebacker there that's got enough speed and hit power, more so than maybe keeping, let's just say this guy here is like an 77 speed. You know, I might want the 82 guy to come in if he's got just as good acceleration. That way he's going to get to the quarterback a little bit quicker, or if he's a scrambling, he has a possibility of actually catching him. The 75 speed guy most likely won't, so keep that in mind. So we got depth chart. So now we've been through 3. Another one too is just a little quick pointer. Definitely take mental notes throughout the game, man. Specifically at the beginning of the game, a lot of guys will tend to run, you know, if you play me, I run basically the same plays over and over again. I do make adjustments depending on the way you adjust, but some guys are very basic in nature, or they read the field from right to left, left to right. They like to run the ball in certain situations. They might, they just give like these little hints away throughout the game, and you want to be able to take notes mentally or even on a piece of paper, whatever it takes. But you want to know what he's doing, man. And because in those important times when it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, you need to be able to get that stop, and that's very, very key. Another one is, and I know a lot of guys somehow get away with it more so lately than ever, but manually controlling linemen. Get away from that, man. I'd say in the long run, you're going to want to learn how to, whether it's control a linebacker, control a safety. That's where you're going to have your best chance to give yourself opportunities for turnovers, stops, run support, things like that, in my opinion. Some guys may disagree, but I think in the long run you will help yourself out tremendously by trying to do that. User or computer players sometimes don't get in the best position, whether it's for a slant, a corner route, something like that. When you're controlling a linebacker, let's just say for example, and he's running a slant route, I can literally follow that receiver all the way across the field. You'll see in some of my games I might get a couple user picks that may not have happened unless I was controlling that guy. And those are the difference makers, man. Those are the ones that will deter your opponent from throwing certain routes the rest of the game. He might see you have decent user control, and over time your user control will become better. Let's just say he's snapping it here. Start learning how to use the strafe button here, which is just the left trigger / left L2 on PlayStation. I'm sorry, I'm bad with the controller things, but learn how to strafe. I don't normally hit turbo unless I'm running towards a player, but I'll just start following a route, man. Normally I'll pick one, and depending, as long as I'm not leaving my zone, I'm playing zone here, but I might follow this X route to the corner or something like that, depending on where he likes to throw, tendencies, situation in the game. And a lot of times literally I'll just control this safety here, and even though he's in a deep blue, I'll literally just come up field and just try to take a read away, and hopefully my pressure gets there, something like that. And definitely I mess up a lot, so the best players do. Nobody's perfect, but over time it's one of those things that you see yourself getting better. Just take your time with it, find a lab partner, get in some unranked games or just games that aren't really important, and just practice, man. That's how you become better. I promise you, when I first started playing, or the majority of people, they control linemen. It's the easier way out. You got to worry about blowing something. But as soon as you start getting user picks and hit sticks, user control, it'll change the whole fun level of Madden, I think, tremendously. I think most people would agree on something like that that do use it and get user picks, stuff like that. So definitely start controlling somebody else. I recommend middle linebackers at the beginning. Safeties definitely in the end. I prefer using my safety just normally because he's in a deep blue, and then I can really roam wherever I want if he doesn't like to run streaks into the middle or posts. That's something else that I can use. And sometimes, let's just say that he would be running a post on the left. I can bait him into it. You'll hear people say bait. I might run to the right and then run back to the left, depending on what he's doing, and then really try to make him make that throw. And then that's where I start, being able to capitalize on and get turnover and stops and stuff like that. So that's another one. I would say the next one we wanted to quickly talk about is a base formation. You want to have a solid base formation, and what I mean by that is just a formation that you can stop the run in, and you could have a blitz out of, or whatever. Some people call them nanos. We don't call it that, but definitely blitzes. Whether it's sending 6 guys, to get one free, just like something stock, you could just pick this wide buck 0 blitz, send it, and you normally get pressure just because you're playing the numbers game. You got one extra guy blitz, and then he has blocking, so therefore we get pressure without even having to do anything. We literally just audible to it and we get pressure. That one wasn't so great, but that's the point in that. You guys will, I'm sure there's better ones, whatever it is, edge stay, excuse me. But these pinch plays aren't bad either. Just find one that you can use if you run a lot of coverage, and then boom, all of a sudden you run a blitz. He's not expecting, you get the pressure, you get the stop or the turnover, or force a bad throw. So that's something else. But with this base formation, and what I was getting to is, it may not be the best against the pass. It may not be the best against the run, but it's a formation that you feel comfortable in. For the guys that bought the blueprint or run my main defense, Mav and I, we have that one formation that we feel comfortable that we can stop the majority of things. We got little specialty plays that we will run, in order to stop, the strong powers and counters and stuff like that. And but we have that one formation that's our go-to, that as long as he's not doing anything crazy, or we've been able to stop the majority of his stuff, we'll stay in that formation the majority of the game. For the guy that left the comment saying, hey man, you're only running 4 plays, I run probably less plays on defense than I do on offense. I just adjust well, I feel. So, and that's what ends up giving me the advantage, I feel, because I can make everything look the same, which is something else we were going to talk about, but all out of that one formation, man. Sometimes I might show blitz, sometimes I don't. You know, if he likes to run screens, I might even press to try to make him think I'm running like a 2-man under or cover 2 to try to deter that. But, you know, I'm running the same thing. And I've heard Mav say it in his videos. Same thing. He might be running a cover 3, and you guys might see him in his games because I know he shows a lot of the plays after the fact. But he might be running a cover 3 that in the end looks something like this. You know, he's got one deep blue, and he's controlling that guy. Everybody else is on a flat. He might even have one guy in man coverage, something along those lines. So it just constantly switches up, but he's all running it out of that base formation. And then he's going to have his little specialty plays that he can stop other things in, just depending on what the opponent's got going on, things like that. So keep that in mind as well. So base formation is going to be key. Hopefully I'm talking about these in depth enough and not boring you guys to death, but you know, for the beginners it should be helpful. So the base formation will come with the 3-4 scheme. I haven't quite figured out which one I want to use yet, but we will figure it out, man, and as soon as we do, we'll definitely drop that too. You can see now we're starting to get that blitz to come in. So this might even be it. And just for an example here, like I'm backed off, so a lot of guys run cover 3, and this is a cover 3 shell, but we're getting a B-gap pressure with the linebacker. And you know, we can definitely make other adjustments. So again, for the guys who are gonna be like, oh my god, the drag's wide open, we can come and sit on that later, so don't worry about that part. But we're sending 5, he's got 5 blocking, so that's an advantage for us because we're getting somebody free, okay, number 1. And you can see the coverage was backed off. So doing the same exact thing, we're gonna base align, show blitz, and this time we're gonna bring the corner down, do the same exact thing, but now the play looks has a little bit different feel. You know, he might be thinking, is he running man coverage or something like that? It may just throw him off enough to where, you know, you run the same exact play, you still get the same pressure, and then next thing you know, he makes a bad read and you get a turnover or a stop or something like that. So that's where that base formation is going to come out in. Again, maybe 95% of the time, just depending on whatever you feel comfortable in. So, and we'll go over it again. The run D's pretty much not been solidified either, but once it's solidified, same thing. We'll have that. And then those will be like your specialty plays. So there you go, base formation. So which one do we got left? We got user control. The next one is using like a combo coverage. And this is something else, it's a basic tip. But just because you come out in zone, and you know, again, this year, a lot of the players, if they're not running hurry up, they'll know exactly what kind of coverages you run, especially if you just always run cover 3. And some guys can't beat cover 3, but you may want to contemplate, and Chappie's put a tip up about this, about stopping, you know, drags and stuff like that by using your middle linebackers. But you can have plays where you literally come out and you're just running coverage, and next thing you know, you got something like this where you just got man coverage all over the place, and you know, disregard how I'm setting this up, but you can see everybody's like in man coverage, and you know, it's just going to switch it up. So he's going to see like, man, I thought he was running cover 3, but meanwhile you've made 100 adjustments, and you know, you're just throwing him off, and that's really all you're trying to do. That guy on that streak was wide open. But anyway, that's the point. So combo coverage is just using a mixture of man and zone. You might come out in 2-man under. All right, so now we're in 2-man under. But on this left side here, we're just going to throw a yellow. And that might defend the hook or the out route or something like that, but we're still in man coverage everywhere else, right? So, you know, I might control this guy in case the running back blocks. That way, you know, if he is blocking, I can run somewhere else. If the running back goes on a route, I'll be in charge of controlling him. So, you know, keep that in mind. Just another way to do it. Combo coverage is what we call it. And I definitely feel like it gives me an advantage in the long haul. You know, if some guy's running a streak or something, he just likes to hit somebody versus that zone and try to fit it in there. Just throwing that man coverage at him will throw him off a little bit. You can see, like, right there, he doesn't have that little wheel route anymore. And that might be his main read. Everybody else is zoned up or something like that, for example. And we make things happen. So that's another one. What else we got? Don't go balls to the wall with all coverage and all blitzes all the time. I probably struggle with this the most. You know, there was last year and the year before, I literally blitzed 100 every play I blitzed. This year I'm blitzing still too much. I'm blitzing at like 75%, I think, or something like that, which is probably too much. And you know, there's some games where the guys are just screening me to death, but I still for some reason just keep running that stupid blitz that I know isn't going to get there because he's getting rid of the ball quick, or he's got quick reads, stuff like that. But you know, don't go balls to the wall on either. I don't think you're going to win the games. And again, some opponents can't handle max coverage. Some people can't handle the blitz. So, you know, depending on your opponent, you might be able to get away with it for the majority. But the good players, they're going to stay patient enough to figure out what you got going on, and then they're going to try to, you know, beat you up on those things, and you're in your weak spots. So don't always run coverage. Don't always just run blitzes. Mix it up. Try to adjust to what the opponent's doing, specifically if he keeps running this same type of scheme. And I think in the long haul, you will benefit yourself. So that's one other one. And then what's the last one here? I'm sure there's more, and if you guys have more, definitely put them down there. I'm just trying to, I was like, let me just jot down some. And the last one is something that's probably become a little bit less important, I think, over the years, because, or specifically last year and this year with next gen. I think finding blitzes, and they're definitely out there, but finding the blitzes from two ways and stuff like that, I don't feel like you need them anymore. There's a lot of the blitzes now, specifically on next gen, aren't slide protectable. They still come in whether the running back's blocking or not. It might not get you a sack, but it should hurry the throw or make the quarterback scramble or something like that. And that's the key with it. But what I was going to say is making every play look the same. Whether it's run D, you're sending a blitz, stuff like that. And it's definitely beneficial. With 3-4s and 4-3s, it's I don't want to say it's easy to make them all look the same, but what I'm getting at is here, let me show you guys this. So let's just say we keep sending this pressure, and it looks like it's coming in pretty good. All I'm doing is just spreading the line, crashing them down. And this time I'm going to show blitz. Did I flip it? I'm sorry, I picked the wrong play. All right, so we're just spreading the line, crashing them down. We're showing blitz, and I'm re-blitzing this free safety. So pretty quick setup here. But let's just say he's used to seeing this. So I'm going to run it one last time here. We'll see if it comes in. Yeah, we get a little B-gapper. So that's good stuff. But now let's do the same thing. And he's thinking, oh, man, he's going to be sending this pressure because he keeps moving the safety into position. But this time here, we're just putting him in a flat zone because he might put the running back in a route over there, right? So now, instead of sending a blitz, we got pretty much max coverage. We're only sending 3 guys. So we're making it look the same, though we're having a different end result here. And through doing that, 5 seconds later, we get a block shed and we get a sack on the quarterback. So that helps us tremendously as well. We made it look the same. And at the same time, we're doing something different with it. So that's what I would say. A lot of the blitzes can look telegraphed or choreographed. Yeah, telegraphed, I'd say. Like he's going to say, like, wow, every time he moves the safety to the left, the blitz comes in from the left. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I've been having plenty of success with it. I do it every game where I keep the safety or the DB or the linebacker pretty much in the same spot. But it's not slide protectable, number one. And then number two, I don't always send the blitz. So he's going to have to kind of, pick his poison, whether he wants to try to throw into the side I'm blitzing from. I'd normally try to blitz from the side where he's got, in this trips formation, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to blitz from his throwing sides. There's a good chance that he's going to blitz from throw to the right here. So I'm going to blitz to the right. And I want to throw at his face. I want him to look at that pressure coming at him. And then meanwhile, I can make my other adjustments. I can sit on the right side where I'm weak. And I forgot, I flipped it the wrong way. But let's just say I'm doing this. Now again, it looks like on paper he's got a huge advantage, right? I got most of my coverage over here to the left, but I can control this guy sitting over here. I might even throw him in a purple or something, whatever. So I got some coverage over there to the right, and then I'm just going to drop back and play this middle part, right? And hopefully by then my pressure gets there. And if not, you get burnt. But that's the name of the game. You'll switch it up on them and hopefully be able to make plays. Let me see here. And that's pretty much it, man. Let's see if we can get this one last time on him. And again, this is just, what is this, 3-4 under? Looked like it came in better from the left, less havoc over there. So anyways, again, just to quickly recap, we're going to practice. Know your controls before you go into the game. Mental notes, definitely take that into the game, and just knowing you want to take notes mentally, at least during the game. Make sure you know your depth chart. Use your control somebody else besides the defensive line and safety, or defensive line. Use your control your middle linebacker or safety. Find a base formation that you feel comfortable in, comfortable enough to stop the majority of runs, comfortable enough to send pressure and set up some coverage behind it. Maybe isn't the best at doing either, at optimal, but it is, you feel comfortable and you can run the majority of the game. Try to make the plays look the same, the best you can. Some guys quick snap and it becomes difficult, but definitely try to do that. Start mixing in combo coverages, and again, just real quick, if you're running man, maybe throw one zone in, and if you're playing zone, maybe try mixing a man coverage or something like that in there just to throw off the opponent. And then don't go balls to the wall running all coverage or all blitzes all the time, man. Unless your opponent can't do it, or handle either or, at that point you can do it. And one last one while I'm doing it is try to mix up your stuff. Some guys just have the plays for cover 3 now because so many people run cover 3. Maybe try running a cover 4 or a cover 2. Don't be scared to ever run a cover 2. Cover 2 sync. Try your different covers at the beginning of the game. And then as the game progresses, the ones that he struggles more against are the ones you're going to want to go back to when push comes to shove, specifically if you're stopping one of his, let's say, quote-unquote money plays out of it. You know, don't mind going back to those plays. So definitely mix in different stuff. See what he can't handle. Some guys don't have offense versus 2-man under or just man coverage. You know, all their plays are set up to be cover 3s and zones, and then you throw man coverage at him, he doesn't know what to do. So definitely don't be afraid to go against the norm. A lot of guys do run cover 3. I run cover 3 shells a lot, but that doesn't always mean I'm actually in that cover 3. I hope this helped. I'm Dreamkillas representing Madden Mastermind. I know this video was long. I hope it helped, man. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, dreamkillas843, and we will catch you guys again next time.